welcome to the heartland of America, where Illinois farmers grow and harvest over 1 billion bushels of corn annually. You might ask yourself where this corn ends up. Traditionally, the sweet corn has ended up on the tables of Americans, while the rest is used as animal feed for livestock. However, as corporations and government bodies search for renewable and sustainable resources, especially in the energy sector, an increasing amount of the feed corn is being used to create corn ethanol. For a closer look at exactly how corn ethanol is made, we'll head to the National Corn to Ethanol Research Center in Edwardsville, Illinois, and enlist the help of Pamela Keck, Assistant Director of Workforce Development and Scientific Projects at Southern Illinois University.
The process of converting corn into ethanol is a pretty simple one. It's been done for literally thousands of years. And the way it's done here, as well as at full-scale facilities across the United States, is that corn is first ground, and then it's dissolved in water. And through the process of using enzymes and yeast, the long starch molecules composed of thousands of glucose molecules hooked together are broken down and then converted using yeast into ethanol. Ethanol is a 2-carbon substance. Glucose has 6 carbons in it, and the yeast breaks down that glucose, which is 6 carbons, into a 2-carbon substance containing oxygen.
Once the ethanol has been formed, it is then distilled, and the ethanol is removed from the stillage. Then water is removed from the ethanol, and the extra stillage is used as an additive to livestock feed to increase its nutritional value to the animals. Corn ethanol as a major energy source is a highly debated topic in the United States. There are varying opinions about the efficiency of ethanol, and about the use of land that can be used to create food being used instead for energy production. Both the 2000 and 2008 primary elections saw the surfacing of the ethanol debate as a key focus of the political campaigns for nearly all of the candidates. The interest in ethanol production is a result of skyrocketing gas prices, along with a growing fear of overdependence on foreign oil. Opponents to ethanol cite rising food prices as a potential downfall for heavy dependence on corn-based fuels. Bruce Babcock, Director of the Center for Agriculture and Rural Development for Iowa State University, claims the picture is not as clear as either side would insist.
You can't ask agriculture to do more of everything. That if you want agriculture to supply fuel, in the short run in the United States, it's going to come from corn. There's no doubt that the ethanol biofuels industry in the United States has affected the price of corn and the price of soybeans, and to a lesser extent the price of soybean oil and vegetable oils, but probably not the price of wheat or rice, and I think that's been the biggest misunderstanding.
Benefits from the production of ethanol are rather widespread. The first benefit is mainly to the consumer, and that's because it's going to, by producing more ethanol more efficiently, it's going to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, it's going to help control oil prices, it's going to reduce emissions, and there's also benefits for the industry in general. It's going to provide a lot more jobs throughout our country, and the farmers also benefit because the increased demand for corn is going to stabilize corn prices, and it's going to allow farmers to have a more constant income.
One major problem with the production of ethanol is its energy density. Compared to gasoline, it gives a much lower yield per liter. However, there are 2 promising alternatives to corn alone. One is to use other cellulose biomasses to create butanol, a much more energy-dense fuel. The second is to use other sorts of biomasses for ethanol production. The United States government has mandated use of 60 billion gallons of ethanol by the year 2030, or roughly equivalent to 30% of gasoline consumption. About 15 billion gallons is thought to be able to be created without disrupting food imports or exports, or straining food processing. For the other 45 billion gallons, we will need to find new sources.
So that would be things like corn stover, the plant that's left over once the corn is harvested. Grasses and wood chips would be examples of other cellulose feedstocks.
Although the exact future of corn ethanol production is uncertain, there will be continued production on some increasing level over the next few decades. It is unlikely that corn ethanol will ever fully replace petroleum-based fuels, but it will certainly help decrease carbon emissions and create a new sustainable fuel on the road to renewable.